Hi, this is Muthu again. The first module we're going to do is on incubation. We're planning to have maybe 18 to 20 sessions. Each of the sessions will be 20 minutes to a maximum of 45 minutes. We have not decided the exact number of sessions, but we'll get started with session 1 and we'll see how we progress and we'll keep adding the sessions as we progress. Hopefully, you will gain some insight as you watch our sessions, and any feedback we'll be happy to receive from. Hi, this is Muthu again. I'm going to do a complete audio on incubation. These will have several sessions. All these sessions will be 20 minutes or maximum 45 minutes. This session 1 will cover business incubation, interpretation, and fundamentals. Please take 30 seconds to jot down what would you like to achieve when we finish this session. I will pause for 30 seconds. Okay. What is business incubation? Business incubation primarily is a relationship between an incubator and an early stage entrepreneur known as a startup. Basically, what the incubator is going to do is support the entrepreneur to be successful. The word is to graduate him, just like in school. Somebody guides you to graduate. So the incubator's job is to help the entrepreneur to graduate. What does the incubator do? The incubator needs to help the entrepreneur succeed. This could be in terms of helping them to build their prototypes, help them in product development, marketing. The incubator should provide appropriate business and services during the incubation process. Very, very important. The business incubation has got three components to it. First of all is the incubation environment, and then the business incubation, and then the incubator. We're going to take each one of these in turn to have and understand what they do. The environment is primarily important because that sets up the entire framework, and it should be effective in order to be able to develop enterprises so we can foster their progress. So that's the first thing any incubator should do. Ensure there is a business incubation environment. Next, we need to have business incubation. This is the process to structure in order to foster the business from gathering the idea to a startup through business support, guidance. You have helped them establish and nurture their growth. So you are really their business support. You're going to help them to move their business, their idea into a viable business. And then the third is the business incubator itself. Primarily here you are going to give physical space which has facilities, and you accommodate the business incubation. So primarily here we are going to be providing services. One of the important services maybe is to make sure they are housed in a place where they can access all these important services. Now, the goal of the business incubation should be first to support and develop and the growth orientation, scaling the early stage enterprise. That's the most important. Following through to reduce the launching cost of the startups. That is the idea of business incubation, keeping the cost down so startups can get started. Next, to increase the entrepreneur's capacity and confidence to scale and start a competitive firm by linking them to potential resources. What does this mean? The purpose of you is to be like a catalyst to help them nurture their idea into a business where they can make money. Next is to have incubation programs to accelerate the entrepreneurs climate within the community. So you got to build a community, help them work with one another. So probably one startup can help another and vice versa. The idea of this is to create jobs in the community and to enhance the local industry growth. So why are we so worried about incubation? Because incubation helps to create new jobs. It helps the economy. So that's why it is so important. And it has to provide intensive operational and strategic support for the development of the enterprise. So enterprise means the startup. Incubators development stage. We go through this stage. First is the conceptual, where potential entrepreneurs with knowledge and skills enter into a business environment. They want to do something. So next stage is to create a firm. This is when they will put their idea together with a plan, start emerging into a company, and then building a team, and finally progress to an owner manager of more than 3.5 years old of an established business persistence. This is how they will progress. The services the business incubation should offer. Firstly, as we already described, infrastructure so they can be housed. Next, they need to be provided some business services like marketing, business plans, and sort of how to form a company, identify potential partners and so on. And then some kind of a financing in terms of how to help them raise money. Maybe there's some seed fund from the incubator. If not, how will they arrange all this? Help them with grant application, venture application, angels. Finally, you need to have networking, very important. So they can get knowledge from others, be able to test their products, be able to take their products to market, and so on. So this is the services a business incubation should offer. Services, as we spoke about just now, the infrastructure is to initiate. The reason you provide infrastructure is to allow them to be able to start, so it will be on reduced cost, so they'll be able to get access to labs, rooms, technical facilities, and so on. The services, as we already talked about, to help them understand regulatory framework, to be able to legally set up the company, to have accountants, have company secretaries to help them. And of course, we need funding to get going, and networking in terms of coaching, mentoring, exchanging of ideas with other incubators as well. Startups often have challenges. So this is where the business incubator will have to help. First of all, guiding a startup who lacks in business experience and knowledge by giving them irrelevant information, contacts, finding the business partners. That should be the role. Next, you need to be able to tackle the startup's unexpected, unrealistic expectations like revenue generation, sales, finance, etc. Many startups think when they start is they're going to be millionaires. So this sort of unrealistic expectations need to be earlier on explained, and most likely they should understand, so they are always aware what they need to do. Next, help startups who lack management awareness and experience. So sometimes, because they've never worked as managers, they will be lacking these skills. So the incubator's job is to help in this area. And next, which we talked about, is to provide networking for business development of startups who lack the social capital. So they need to be able to learn these things through networking and so on. You can also have virtual incubation. This would be providing incubation services electronically, offer incubation service virtually for non-resident tenants, so they may not be able to come or move for personal reasons. So the incubator can try and offer virtual incubation. They need to have appropriate models for incubators, focus on delivering service with greater impact. It's suitable for technology startups which don't need physical incubation support. If they need physical incubation support, then virtual incubation doesn't really work. So this could work in a college or an environment where they have facilities, but they don't have a formal incubator. So you can join an incubator, and then you have all your work accessed in your own institution. You need to also create value-added services. This could be one, generating social and economic impact What does the incubator do? It has to create social and economic impact. Through that, you nurture through a wide range of modules. You need to teach them a whole lot of things to be able to generate social and economic impact. We need to develop pioneers and leaders in entrepreneurship and innovation. It is not easy to become an entrepreneur. It's a lot of hard work. So this has to be developed over the period. They need to learn how to innovate so that can be taken to the market. Next, they need to be aligned with investing partners in private, public, and not-for-profit regions. It's important for them to understand where to raise money from. And last is to reduce barriers to entrepreneurs and innovation so they will be able to succeed by having less barriers, so it will help them focus on their work. What does the incubator do? Incubator helps the startups to create jobs, for example, in technology, both in hardware development and software programming, manufacturing and production. Agriculture is very, very important. We need agriculture because we need to feed the population. So having better agricultural production helps feeding them, so creates jobs. Teaching and training, a lot of them need skills we're talking about, so it also helps. Creates jobs in advertisement and marketing because the products which the startups bring needs to be advertised and marketed. We can get jobs in telecommunication because we have to start communicating. Of course, this infrastructure. Administration workers will be helped, is needed. General operation is needed. Accounting and finance also is needed. Legal, sales, and general business work is all needed in a startup. So an incubator creates opportunities to create jobs in all these areas. Social and economic impact of an incubator. First of all, it improves the skills and knowledge of people in the incubator by performing partnership activities and training programs. So it helps the incubatees to build their skills and knowledge. Next, it also improves community standards of living by increasing the tax generation, direct, indirect tax paid by them, and also from the enterprise they launch. So this creates wealth within the system. So they will increase payments of taxes, direct income tax to the government, which in turn can then use to make better social impact, like helping hospitals, providing free medical treatment to the general public. So all this happens if there is more tax money out there. Support in advancement of innovation and entrepreneurship from marginal social groups. So to help the poor as well through our innovation, through our work, we might be able to create better products, more affordable products, especially in the areas of medical, where not everyone has access to good medical care. So all this an incubator can do. Next, incubator extended for long-term return of investment. First of all, they need to mediate relationship between investors and entrepreneurs. By doing this, you're creating funds coming in. So your entrepreneur is able to carry out their work. As they are successful, you'll be able to benefit out of that. You need to promote regulatory policies and modification on behalf of the entrepreneurs. So you might have to go to forums, you might have to meet up with the local authorities, explaining to them what these startups require in terms of regulatory policies. Next, increase awareness of entrepreneurship and promoting successful stories for entrepreneurs. So this will create more and more entrepreneurs coming in as their success. Incubators as a source of innovation and entrepreneurship. First of all, you need to provide startup financial opportunity to the investors. So as the incubator is supporting, the investor would feel confident and comfortable that he's been looked after. Next thing is to contribute innovative products and services to larger companies. So today, many of the larger companies are quite willing to outsource their new products to startups. They might acquire them, they might license them, they might buy them. Next is to enhance business growth and development as being the information provider for policymakers. So the incubator should be providing information to the policymakers so they will be able to make policies which are of beneficial to startups. Incubation services can be in terms of marketing, how would you commercialize them, how will you connect them to funding networks. This is where many startups fail. They're not able to raise money. Raising money can be both art and science. So you need to try many times to be able to raise funds. Each time you fail, you should learn what you failed in raising the funds. So the next time around, you'll be able to do a better job. Linkage, for example, what is linkage? Is to connecting the startup with the right links, what they need to do. It should also help in business development. Now, the linking external resources in idea formulation. You might get someone to help you ideate. You define your idea and then give them business support and application and development support. All this is done by business development through innovation. Strength of a business incubator. First, successful and effective for a wide range of economic and social contexts. That makes the incubator valuable because it's able to create economic and social activities. So you will be able to attract people to your incubator in terms of new innovations, in terms of funding, and so on. We need to have versatile enough to suit in variety of business environment. So today a business could be strong, tomorrow it could be weak. So it all depends on how you're going to make it work. So you need to be watching the environment. Next, you need to be resourceful regarding to your location. You could be in a rural area, you could be in a city. You need to be making sure that resources are there regardless. You need to have effective business service offering to streamline the businesses of the incubators. So this is how the strength of incubator is made. History of business incubation. Business incubation goes back in the United States. It's way back as 59. The first incubator, Putney White Industry Center, was the first one. Now, in the 70s and early 80s, business incubators have become a systemic approach. And in the 90s and 2000s, and right now, in the last maybe 10 years, in India, lots and lots of incubators are coming up because more and more people are now wanting to start their own business and activities. So incubation is the way to go forward to creating new ideas, new innovations, and creates new jobs, as we keep saying. So the incubators have traveled from first, second, and third generation. First generation is possibly they were getting only shared offices. Today, you will see in this category would be lots of co-working spaces. The second generation, including the first generation services, you provide some mentoring and business support proactively. So this makes it a second generation incubator. A third generation incubator has both the top halves and it also helps them generate finances. It gives them funding, creates channels for external funders. It also creates partnerships for business. So here you're getting your services better and better. So you probably start with generation 1, generation 2, and generation 3. This is how you will evolve your incubator. Now, what is next? You need to now identify your key takeaway from this lecture. How does it relate to you? And what are you going to share with others from these lectures? All our sessions will insist on this, what is next. So you would actually spend the 20-25 minutes or even 40 minutes usefully. That's why it's very important. As good entrepreneurs, we want to acknowledge our reference on this PowerPoint has been taken from the Business Incubation Toolkit from InfoDev. So we've used that as a reference to build some of these slides. And as always, you know how to contact me. My email is there, my mobile number is there, and you can always pick up our books in Amazon. Thank you for listening, and shortly we'll go into session 2.